This is Dick, WB2JPQ, and I'll be one of your hosts here tonight, along with Scott, W2BLT, and Vicky, K8VKY, and Roger, K04QMM, for 633 nets, East Coast Reflector Tech Net. As always, we start out with our team members, see if they have anything to report. And we go and see if we have any silent keys, which we do. We have 3 that have been reported to us from out of the area tonight. We'll see if we have any more. Hopefully not. I don't see any that came up on the log tonight. Let me go to Joe is in here, KD2TFB. He's going to do a Celebrity of the Week. And we see if we have any new amateurs that have never checked into this net before. And of course we go to technical questions, amateur radio related questions. And after that we will do general check-ins by call districts or what the numeric is in your call sign. And tonight we start out with number 4. 3 is last, 3 was first last week, so it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, and a 3. Our question tonight, and we're starving for questions. Please help us out. If you've got an amateur radio related question, send it in to us, and we'll see if it's fitting, and we'll try to use it. After doing this for over 12 years, there's obviously a lot of duplications, and some of us are just brain dead with questions. So tonight we're going to use one that we used a number of years ago, but it's always a good one. Would you be an amateur if the FCC did not drop the code requirement? As many of you know, maybe not all of you know, since the AM radio came about, there was a code requirement that was dropped on February 23rd of 2007. What's that, about 18 years ago. So the code requirement to be an amateur was dropped 18 years ago. So that's your question tonight. Would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirement? Well, let's see if any of our team members have anything that they would like to report tonight. Well, good evening, Mr. Kevin, VE3BZ.
Good evening, Dick, and everyone on the net. Kevin here, Victoria Harbour, Ontario, with tonight's Swap It Shop listing. I have 2 tonight. First one is from Richard what's Richard's called? WB9CSP in Paris, Texas. Has a Yaesu FTM 1802M that he would like to trade for either a FT7800 or an FT7900. The 1802 is in working condition. It does have a bit of a shredded mic cord, but the mic still works. And you can contact Richard by email at wb9csp@amateurwire.org or by phone at 347-395-0930. Let me drop it for a sec. And the next listing is from Henry, WB4IVB in Corbin, Kentucky. Henry has a number of Motorola CM200s for sale. These are UHF, 438 to 470 megahertz, 25 watt, 4 channels. They have the 16-pin connector in the back for building or interfacing with whatever, Raspberry Pi or whatever for All-Star node. And this includes accessories as well as programming, which also includes programming of the accessory connector in the back. And to build an all-star node, you just get a rim light from Repeater Builder to interface it with whatever computer you're using, usually a Raspberry Pi. If you have any questions, just email Henry with any questions you may have. He also makes cables for these radios for any interfacing requirements that you may have. He is asking $145 each. That includes, and PayPal is accepted. And Henry's email is wb4ivb@hotmail.com. And I guess I'll answer tonight's question. Probably not. I'm going to say that. I probably wouldn't have done it if I had to do the code. Anyway, back to you, Dick. PE3BZ.
Well, thank you, Kevin. You know, I'm not sure what not sure what you had up there. Maybe you might enlighten us. What was the Canadian? Was there? I don't remember. Was there no code? Or was it always a requirement up till? Do you know what date your government dropped it? I guess I wasn't aware of that. I thought always you had a code requirement.
It was dropped well before I got my license. I'm just going to guess because I don't know the exact date, but probably somewhere around 20 years ago or close to that. But maybe somebody that's been around longer will know the answer. In the meantime, I can try and find out for you. Back to that PE3BZ.
Not that important. I looked it up, though, for the States. It was February 23rd, like I said, 2007, 18 years ago. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it... I guess I was not aware of that, Kevin. I thought you always... Anyway, got a bunch of silent keys here tonight, unfortunately. Does anyone, I'll read them off here, but does anyone have a silent key that they would like to have remembered here tonight? Maybe I should read these off first. We got KJ4FSH from Deerfield Beach, Florida. That was sent in by Roger from South Florida. We got Don from Sebring, Florida, KU4RB. We also have John from Lake Placid, KK4LI. We have James from Illinois, KD9LC, N9DCW, and Brian from Malone, New York, WB2RYB. Wow, this is a bad run here tonight. But all of those were sent in, and all of those are silent keys. Does anyone have a silent key other than the ones that I mentioned they would like to have remembered here this evening? Well, hearing nothing, if we could have a moment of silence, please, for the 6 that I read off tonight. That's not a good way to start. That's 6 of them. That's way too many. But if we could have a moment of silence, please, for the 6 silent keys that I listed previously. Thank you, everyone. On the lighter side, Joe is here, KD2TFB as always, and lighten things up a little bit, get our mind thinking, who might the celebrity of the week be? Good evening, Joe.
Thank you, Dick. I would have to say I've tried practicing code now and then, and it's just one of those things that I'm not quite getting the hang of it, so I'd have to say my answer would be no as well. And I'd like to roll right on to credit for the tip for this week's episode goes to the Oxley Region Amateur Radio Club of Queensland, Australia. And like many of these, the primary source was the English language Wikipedia and is therefore subject to the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 license. Ray was born 18th of January 1933 in Portland, Oregon, the son of Esther and Earl. He attended Sequoia High School in Redwood City, California, graduating in 1951. As a teenager, the decade following the Second World War, he held part-time and summer jobs at Ampex in Redwood City. While at San Jose State College and later at Stanford University, interrupted by 2 years of Army service, he worked on early prototypes of videotape recorder technology. In 1957, Ray received his Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from Stanford. He subsequently won a Marshall Scholarship for a PhD in Physics in 1961 from the University of Cambridge, England, where he was a research fellow at Pembroke College and completed his PhD titled Long Wavelength X-ray Microanalysis. Just going to let the heater drop so we don't time it out. Like many of these episodes, there are so many accomplishments earned by Ray, which would take too long to relate in a short feature like this. You can read about them on his Wikipedia page, but I'll touch on a few of them here. These include awards from the Audio Engineering Society, AES, the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, often said as SMPTE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, or IEEE, a United States National Medal of Technology, honorary doctorates, academy, and an Emmy Award. If you're old enough, you most likely know Ray from making recordings on compact audio cassettes. The Ray I'm talking about is Ray Dolby, the inventor of Dolby Noise Reduction Systems and founder of Dolby Laboratories. It works because the majority of tape noise is at high frequencies, so at recording time, high frequencies are dynamically boosted, and at playback time are likewise attenuated. He held the call sign of Foxtrot 5, Victor Bravo Yankee, or S5 and BBY. Ray became a silent key on the 12th of September, 1913 at the age of 80 due to leukemia. Kilo Delta 2, Tango Foxtrot Bravo, back to net control.
Well, thank you, Joe. Much appreciated for you coming in at every Tuesday night. One thing that I was going to, I got carried away here when I saw all these silent keys. Were there any other team members, going backtrack a little bit, were there any other team members that had anything that they would like to report tonight? Well, I guess I wouldn't have had to backtrack. I got a couple of things here. This is the SV Elmer week, so tonight, Thursday night at 8 o'clock in our Zoom room, we'll be Ask the Elmer, Be an Elmer. So it's a great resource. A lot of good questions are asked and so forth. So come join us at 8 o'clock. Ask an Elmer, Be an Elmer, especially for the newly licensed amateurs. And, we got more old-timers than new, so it's great for everybody. And I do want to make a little announcement about our Friday night youth net at 8 o'clock. We've changed our format. It's going to be kind of a all-new rollout, if you will, on Friday night at 8 o'clock. So come join us and support the youth net. There's been a couple of issues that have been coming up, and we think we've corrected some of the issues, hopefully. So we're going to have a totally new format. I kind of listed the format on Facebook with just a punch list. But come join us at 8 o'clock on Friday night. and support our use. And especially bring third party. I mean, we want licensed use, but support and bring third party. We're really go out of our way to try to get some of our third party, get some of our youth, kids, grandkids, neighbors, whatever. Grab a kid off the street and introduce them to amateur radio. And we'd like to have the parents, along with the third party, come into our Zoom room around 7 o'clock, an hour before, and talk with Grayson and whoever else might be there. We have another young lady that's going to be a net controller with for third party. She hasn't quite got her license yet. We're going to try something new. So come join us at 8 o'clock on Friday. Thanks, everybody. Get done with those key ups. Let's see what we have tonight that's new to this system. If you've never checked into this net before, I should say system. If you're new to this net, if you have not checked into this net before, please give me your call sign twice and we'll get you up at the top of the list. Once again, this is Dick, WB2JPQ.
K2NKP. My name is Mike from Tonawanda, New York.
Kilo India 4 Echo Golf Quebec KI 4 EGQ. Bill in Woodstock, Georgia on All-Star. Good evening.
Whiskey Bravo 4 Alpha India Zulu WB4AIZ. Chuck in Kansas City, Florida on Echo Link.
Kilo Quebec 4.
Kilo Romeo 4, Delta Sierra November, KR4, Delta Sierra November.
In North Carolina.
This is Nick from
I don't think I've checked
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
KCH, November 2, Juliet, Charlie Hotel. Well, that's a great run. I think we might have missed one in there. We had tons of notes keying up tonight. I'll just start taking them off if it keeps up. We got Justin in Buffalo, N2JCH, KR4DSN, Nick, Fort Lauderdale. We have John, KQ4GKO, KI4EGQ, William. And Michael, K2NKP. We also had Chuck in there, WB4AIZ. And Chuck, unfortunately, you're coming up red on my screen indicating that this is not your first time in here, that you have been in here before. So I'm going to have to ask you to wait and come in with the fourth call district when we call for fours, which happen to be first here tonight. So let me go up to Michael in Tonawanda, New York, N2NKP. Good evening to you, Michael. First time on the system, I see. You go by Mike, Michael, Jack, Paul. We can nickname you and put it in our nickname field, whatever you like. Just tell us. And would you like to answer our question tonight? Would you have been an amateur if the FCC did not drop the code requirement back in 2007?
So the answer to tonight's question, I probably would not, but recently I just started studying code. But when I first got licensed, had there been a code requirement, I probably would not have gotten licensed. And I forgot your first question.
Well, a question for everybody to, that is the question. You already answered the question. I just want to welcome you to the net, Michael. I guess I ask if you go by a nickname or if you want us to leave Michael in as your given name here on the East Coast Reflector.
Go by Mike.
Alrighty, N4WGY in Huntsville, Alabama. You're about to leave the net. One more key up and you're gone. So, thank you for being there, Michael. Or Mike, you're local to me. I'm in Eden, up on the Eden-Boston line. So, welcome to East Coast Reflector from Western New York. Woodstock, Georgia. William, KI4EGQ. Good evening to you, sir.
This reflector quite by accident just got All-Star node configured a few days ago and following a bubble chart and wait, what's this wild spider web here? So, but anyway, great net, great. Thanks for letting me join in. And I would probably I would have been a ham a lot sooner had they dropped the code requirement. Was stationed on Midway Island in the Navy for a hitch back. Was that 76? And there was a ham radio club there. They had a 100-foot tower with a nice beam antenna and a old senior chief that ran the ham radio station there. They had a kilowatt amp, and I just kicked myself for not getting a license back then. It would have been great to make some contacts from Midway Island, but yes, it was. Yeah, it would have been dicey, but I'll say it probably wouldn't have been a ham as did finally get my ticket. But glad to know you. And hey, are y'all going to take questions later on? Over.
Sure are, William. We'll get down through the new people to this net, and we will take amateur radio-related questions. So I'm glad you got one. We got you down for a no. And I ran many phone patches out of Midway Island for our servicemen over there back in the 60s, probably into the 70s. I don't honestly remember, but I do remember that very well. So I might have very well let you talk back home. You never know. Let's go to John, KQ4GKO. John, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, and thank you for doing the net. I actually didn't get my license until 8 years ago, basically because of the code requirement, and I certainly wouldn't have my license yet without it, but now I really want to learn code, and I've actually purchased a key with an oscillator, and I'm waiting for that to get here. I'm going to start working with the LICW people and learn to code along with my daughter River. She wants to learn to code too. She loves code. But that's my story. So 73s, everybody on the net, KQ4GKO. Thanks a bunch.
John, my apologies. I didn't recognize your call sign. I guess I only maybe ran it through my memory once. But thank you for being there, and I everybody will like it. We're going to try to get our youth net with more youth involved. So third party, come on in. Try to come in the Zoom room at 7 o'clock. Nick is next, and Nick from Fort Lauderdale. Welcome, Nick, KR4DSN.
Good evening, all. Thank you for the warm welcome to the net. This is actually my first time ever checking in on a net and first time transmitting since I got my radio set up. So I'm relatively new at the technician license, just got it 2 months ago and have been tinkering and listening, but figured tonight it's time to jump on. For the net question, I think the answer for me would be yes. I would have pursued this even if I had to learn the code. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process of learning it now. And sitting in front of me, I've got my QRP Labs QCX mini kit that I'm building. So as I'm learning the code, I'm building this kit and hoping to actually get to use it at some point in the near future. So thanks again, 73 everybody. Have a good night.
Well, thank you, Nick. Wow. Thanks for honor to be your first contact and the first net as well. One thing to you and also to Mike from Tonawanda, we see that both of you do not have a current email address on QRZ.com. You would go into QRZ.com if you haven't been in there yet and get signed up and put a current email address. Our system will send you a welcome letter which will tell you all about our nets and all of our happenings here on the East Coast Reflector. It's a very busy reflector. We have a lot of things going. There's something every night of the week for somebody, whether it be in our Zoom room or whether it be on the air. And once again to the new hams, Ask an Elmer, be an Elmer at 8 o'clock Thursday, this coming Thursday at 8 o'clock East Coast time. A wonderful opportunity for you guys to come in and ask questions and we can all learn from each other. Next up is Justin from Buffalo, N2JCH. Good evening.
This is Justin, N2JCH. Still a fairly new ham here. I actually just passed my general license exam last week. As far as the code requirements, I don't know that I would have been licensed yet. I've actually been studying on an app on my phone that helps you to recognize code, so I'm hoping that that's a good step towards learning it. 73 everybody, and back to net.
Well, thank you, Justin. I'm surprised over the last few years there's been a real influx of people getting in with with a no code and learning the code after. It's really great to see. Let's see if we have anyone else that has never checked into this net before. If you've never checked in, please give me your call sign twice. This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Net control. This is Kilo Foxtrot 5, Oscar Radio Mike. Kilo Foxtrot 5, Oscar Radio Mike. KF5ORM. Andy, we're in Best, Louisiana, on the west side of Shreveport, Louisiana.
This is from Texas, Little Turtle Beach.
Hang on 1 minute, Andy. Let me just see if that's somebody from KE5UT that's trying to check in. Hearing nothing. Yeah, hi, Andy. KF5ORM. Good evening to you, and welcome to the East Coast Reflector. Tech Net number 633. Like you've been on the system before, but just never onto this net. So our question tonight to everybody is, would you be an amateur if the FCC did not drop the code requirement back in 2007.
Probably not. I mean, I probably would, like everybody else, I just come in here in the last few minutes, so I hadn't been in here the whole time, but I need to try to learn that for sure, but I don't know. That was one thing that kept me from it, and I'm sure there was a lot of people that feel the same way, so I don't know. And of course, I know a lot of the older hams didn't like that they dropped it, but and I understand that too, but probably not. But I need to get geared up to learn the code. So I'm a general at present, and want to get my extra ticket and then go from there. So probably not, but I'm glad I'm one now.
Well, we are too. We want to clear up something. We know your given name is Charles, and you said Andy. I believe you said Andy. We just want to clear that up before we enter Andy into our database. It can never, ever be changed. You'll be Andy forever once we hit enter.
Yes, that is correct. I am Charles, but I go by Andy. Yeah, just put that in the database there. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and I was only kidding about not being able to change it, but you will be known as Andy here. Who else do we have as we move along here? Stations that have never checked into this net before. We'll take a couple more if there are.
November 0 X-ray Lima Papa. November 0 X-ray Lima Papa. Name here is Rodney, Bluffton, South Carolina.
Rodney just popped up new to our system. Again, Rodney does not have an email address either on his QRZ page. N0XLP. Good evening, Rodney.
Good evening. I can give you my email if you like here. Let me know after I answer the question. I've been a ham since 93, and I got up as high as advanced class, so I was doing code at 13 words a minute, but I couldn't hit 20, and I couldn't hit extra until after the went away. So, kind of surprising thing to think about it. I've been doing this for 32 years. Back net control in 0.
Well, thank you, Andy. No, we don't fool with email addresses on the air. We encourage people to put them on their QRZ.com page, and our system will send you a welcome letter and tell you all about the system and give you all the nets and so forth that we have listed. Who else do we have? Stations with it? No, we haven't gotten there yet. New stations. New stations that have never checked into this net before.
Hey, new station here. This is Kilo Romeo 4 Foxtrot Juliet, Quebec. My name is Kent. I'm checking in from the mountains up here in Front Royal, Virginia, up around Blue Mountain, and first time on this. Cut my teeth on something new. Over to you next.
Well, Keith, be sure you're coming in on Echolink. Good evening to you, KR4FJQ. Front Royal, Virginia, that's a new one on me. Good evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kent. And my question to you is, would you have been an amateur if the FCC did not drop the code requirement back in 2007?
That's a good question, Net Control.
It really wouldn't matter because actually I just picked up my technician's license less than a month ago. I tested up here in Winchester, Virginia on the 13th of July and passed with flying colors, prepping to take my general here hopefully this fall. And prior to all that, into GMRS radio. I've been doing that for about a year for camping and overland travel. And so this is a new hobby for to it. We just had a big ham fest up here in Berryville, Virginia. A lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you, Ken. Yeah, try to get a current email address on your QRZ.com page. If you really don't want to do that, if you subscribe to our newsletter, bit.ly/ECR subscribe, it will all automatically go from there into our database as well. I wasn't aware of that. Vicki just informed me of that here in the Zoom room as you were talking. So if anybody wants to come join us, the Zoom room is the eastcoastreflector.com. There's a spot on the website that you click a button, it'll take you right in. You can see all of our happy, smiley faces in here. We're always looking for people to come in and not say hello, but wait. We don't talk during the net, but we'll talk to you after the net. One more. I got one more line here for somebody new. Someone new to this net. Vicky's got one more line, then we're going to go to stations with amateur radio-related questions.
Juliet Lima, Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Juliet Lima, Chris in Maryville, Tennessee.
And Chris is going to fill our last box tonight, KR4CJL. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you. Would you like to answer our question? If you have an answer, would you have been an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirement?
I am a new ham. I've been wanting to for years and years, but the code requirement kind of did deter me a little bit.
So would that be a yes or a no for our scientific survey here tonight?
Say yes.
Yes, it is, Chris. Alrighty. Let's go to stations with an amateur radio-related question. If you came in here tonight, I know we had somebody that was already checked in here. I don't remember who that was, but if you have an amateur radio-related question, please give me your call sign twice. This is Dick, WB2JPQ at 39 past the hour.
06 GLU. QL 6 Golf Lima Uniform.
We're going to start with the West Coast here tonight. Hayward, California. Hi, Tim. KO6GLU. Answer our question about the code requirements, and we'll take one from you. It's all yours, KO6GLU. Good evening, Tim.
Question I have, I sometimes hear what sounds like touch tone sounds that people are putting in to the repeaters, and I was wondering why do they do that and what's going on with that?
Well, you're on KU6Z's repeater. No touchstones are allowed on the East Coast reflector, obviously, because if they're all muted, if they're not muted, they're going to come through and cause havoc with people's systems. So you should not hear any touchstones on the East Coast reflector. But perhaps Don or one of the control stations for KU6V repeater there is controlling something, if that's what you're hearing. But it would be for control privilege, to control something on the repeater. That's usually, what we use touchstones for.
Understand. Yeah, I've heard it not so much on this one, but in other smaller repeaters that don't have big networks like this one does. And I just kind of wondered what they were doing, but I guess it's to do something to make changes to the repeater. Is that why they do it?
Depending upon the makeup and what they're doing, but yes, control many of the repeaters via touchtone. And yep, I'm hoping you're not hearing it on here. I'm glad you said that you're hearing it elsewhere. But obviously, we do not allow it because you could dial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that might be the code to turn my lights on in my house. And I wouldn't want you to turn my lights on. So, good question. My question to you is, I don't know how long you've been an amateur, but would you have been an amateur if the FCC did not drop the code requirement back in 2007?
So I would not have signed up if that was required.
All right, Timothy. Do you go by Tim or Timothy? We can, like I told the other stations here, we can change it to whatever you would like for a nickname.
Tim is my nickname, so yeah, sign me up that way. I would appreciate it.
Take a couple of annoying nodes off to keep keying up. Thank you, Tim. We changed it. What else do I have tonight? It was an amateur radio-related question. If you have a question tonight, amateur radio related, your call sign's choice.
KI4EGQ, KI4EGQ.
KG4HOT. Or EGQ, your question, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Question. My Wi-Fi SSID has a lowercase l, as in Lima, in there, and somehow when programming the hotspot, it wouldn't accept it until I looked closely, and the scan on the input was reading uppercase I as in India. So I manually changed that, and it programmed fine. But yet the router gateway, at the home router here, is with lowercase Lima L. So I just wonder if anybody has heard of that before. On, is it an ASCII issue in the All-Star 3 software or firmware, or am I just going bonkers? Back to you, KI4EGQ.
We'll put it out, William. I have no clue. Anybody help William out? Anyone have an answer?
be just a side comment, but not a direct answer.
KI4AGQ, go ahead.
Well, my Wi-Fi router has an @ in the password, and @ are not allowed in ASL3, so it had to change it to a 2. I know it doesn't help with your situation, but there might be some weirdness on ASL3 side. KK7OGC, Fred and Reno, sorry it didn't answer your question directly.
KC6UFM.
Thanks for the answers. Back to net.
I guess somebody keyed up over there, something keyed up. Go ahead, Charles, and thank you to, thanks, Fred. Go ahead, Charles.
Thank you, Dick. William, as far as that is concerned, there is a very distinct possibility that the Debian code that is underneath ASL3 has the keyboard defaulted to UK English instead of US English, which is also why the @ sign won't work. Every time you try and put in an @ sign, it'll give you a double quote. So go into your settings on the underlying Linux and change it to US English as opposed to UK English. Back over to you, Dick, KC6UFM.
Thank you, Charles. That might be a clue. Maybe that'd be some help to you, William.
Yeah, roger that. Thank you very much. KI4AGQ.
All right, next in queue here, it looks like Timothy, KG4HOT. Is that correct? Good evening. Is there a KG4HOT or something that resembles that call sign that just had a question?
KE4ZYQ had a suggestion for the answer to the problem.
We never heard you, Joe, but we'll KE4ZYQ. We'll put HOT in standby a minute. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, the fellow with the keyboard issue, entering keyboard, I would suggest go to YouTube and try to search answers to that through YouTube, because many people will post a result or solve a problem on a YouTube video. So there's many, many, many answers to issues and problems. Not saying it is there, but it could be there. So back to net, KE4ZYQ.
Joe, and out of our logging room came, did you ever look at YouTube? There's probably a bunch of YouTube videos for it as well. Thanks, Joe. Let me see if I can find out who this KG4HOT or something like that is. The KG4 that called in with a question. Well, I guess we're all hearing things. The KG4HOT doesn't exist, I guess. Well, has an amateur radio related question for us tonight.
W4FWN, W for Foxtrot.
I guess Robert from Deltona was in there along with Dan from Sanford, W4FWN. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening. On the net. So I hope Pi Star has had an upgrade or update and misbehaving tonight. I don't know whether I was even going to get in. And the answer to your question is added what was required for the novice and the general thing. I had to do it today, so I did it back longer. Mine was much better. Back in the control system.
Well, Dan, you're just all packet lost, gibbler jobbly here tonight, so I didn't get much of that at all. I don't know what you're going to have to do a reboot. I know I heard something about your Pi Star isn't working quite right, and it sure is not working quite right. So if there was an answer or a question in there, I have no idea what it was. Let me go to Robert in Deltona, Florida, KJ4ZFM.
Well, as I stated, it wasn't a question. I just wanted to let you know, Dick, I'm up in your vicinity for a good little bit, but I just wanted to say good evening out there to everyone on. Hope everyone's enjoying the evening on the Tech Net. Kilo Jupiter 4 Zulu Foxtrot, Michael.
Only looking for stations, Robert, that have an amateur radio-related question. It's not time for general check-ins yet. Anybody have an amateur radio-related question? This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
N6QDY, N6QDY.
Good evening, David. N6QDY.
Hi, Dick, Annette, Vicky, everybody in the room. I have a question regarding toroid and ferrite beads. I've been asking other people, and I've been trying to formulate how to ask it. Pretty broad, I guess. But anyways, regarding toroids and ferrite beads, I guess I'll just ask it this way. Is there like one toroid or ferrite bead that handles a specific, is it like one size fits all, I guess is what I'm trying to say? Or are there different size toroids or ferrite beads that work for different situations? So anyway, I've been always wondering about that. Back to you later.
Send that over to Charles. It brought back memories, though. David, my good friend Harold, WG2HR, who passed away. Now it's on a key back a few months back. He could tell you what numbers did what. He was Mr. Fairlight. He knew everything and anything there was to know. Charles, go ahead. Good evening again.
Thank you, Dick. David, it is not a one-size-fits-all. There are a couple of different variables that you have to keep in mind. The biggest one is what is called the mix, the ferrite mix, which is basically the recipe of the materials that they put into the ferrite, and then that's basically a powder mixed with an epoxy that is then molded into a particular shape, and the chemicals that they add to that vary, and that impacts the frequency response. For a given mix, there is a given frequency range that it will work on. The other variable is more related to the socket and the power handling capabilities. Bigger can handle more power. That part's pretty simple. And I'm not like Dick's late friend there. I don't have the tables memorized, but you do need to look at a particular mix. So if you want to do a transformer, let's say for a balun or something, or something of that nature, to work at HF, you would use a particular mix for the range that you want to cover. And there are some that are very broad. But on the other hand, if you're doing the same exact device to work at UHF, you're going to need a different mixture. And if you go to the various sites, or just go on Google, and Wikipedia has a list of the mixes, they are pretty much standardized across the industry, and that will give you all of the information there that you need to make a proper selection. But it is not a one-size-fits-all situation, David. Back over to you, Dick, KC6, USF.
Well, what was going on with Orlando just made an appearance there. Thanks, Charles. Good explanation. And David, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Charles. Did you guys feel that earthquake? It's just that boulder rolling off my shoulders there. Oh, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, that helped out a lot. Thanks a lot. And to answer your question, Dick, absolutely. I would have still, as far as, I got my 13 when I was studying for my general way back in the day, so I would have still went ahead and appreciated getting my amateur license. Back to you.
Thanks, David. Yep, that was the only way back in the day. You had no choice. Who else do we have with an amateur radio-related question? Stations with an amateur radio-related question, call signs twice. Well, hearing nothing, I guess that's going to do it for me. I don't have to. I have a big note here, a big sticky note. Send it to Kevin, VE3BZ, for our swap and shop, but he's already got that out of the way. We've changed our routine there a little bit. He's coming up with the at the top of the net. So I guess all I can do is send it over to our good friend Roger. KO4QMM will probably be pretty much a permanent fixture on here for a while, I think, if we don't let him get away. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 7 for the brew. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to you, Vicki, for logging. This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for that, Dick. I'll be part of the group as long as you need me here. This is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida. This is the Tuesday Night Tech Net. If you'd like to get in on the logbook and join us this evening. Answer the question, would you be an amateur if the FCC did drop the code requirement? I guess back in 2007. And I'll be starting with districts 4 through 8. So if you have a 4 in your call sign, come twice and slowly to join us.
KQ4 UPK. KQ4 UPK.
4 FRR, KO4 FRR. KQ4 GLY, KQ4 GLY.
R4 PPA, KR4 PPA.
W4 PPX, W4 PPX.
I gave a little time there. I figured it'd be some more 4s, which there might be. If I don't call out your call sign, you'll have a chance to come back again. Let's start at the bottom with Don, Hollywood, Florida, W4 PPX. KR4 ETA. Not really sure about all of it. It says Lucas, Huntsville, Alabama. KQ4 GLY, Chris Parish, Florida. My buddy Joe, KO4 FRR, Joe Sorrento. And we got Chris, KQ4 UPK, Hollywood, Florida. KK4 SED via text line, Nicholas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And top of the line there, yeah, that's it, KOK4 DSN via text line, Nick, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I think I got them all there. If I didn't call your call sign, I'd come back again.
This is 9Y48. 9 Yankee 4, Delta X Solution.
Alpha Bravo 4, November Tango. Alpha Bravo 4, November Tango.
KR4 FLZ. KR4 FLZ.
All right, I figured there was a few more. We got Brandon, Winter Spring, Florida, KR4 FLZ. We got Brad, Dade City, Florida, AB4NT. And we got my buddy Bertrand from Trinidad and Tobago, 9Y4DX. All right, let's head up to the top of the list here via text line, Nick, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, KR4DSN. Would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirements, Nick?
Good evening, this is KR4DSN. I have to apologize. I actually checked in earlier as one of the new people checking in on the net, but I had also sent the email, and I see now online that that's forbidden, so that won't happen again. The answer to my question earlier was yes, I would be, and I will clear up and let you move on to the other callers. KR4DSN, clear.
No worries, Nick. You're not bothering anybody. Appreciate your answer, my friend, and thanks for joining us. Let's move on to Les via text line. Claremont, Florida, KK4SED. Evening, Les.
Les here in Claremont. I would probably follow up on it. I had my license way back when, left it for a long time and come back, and fortunately I don't have to do it now, but if I had to, I would. KK4 SED, back to net.
Wow, getting some yeses here. I started during COVID, and no, I don't think I would have. I just like to talk too much. Let's move on to Chris, Hollywood, Florida, KQ4 UPK. Good evening, Chris. KQ4 UPK. Are you there, Chris? You're up. Alrighty then, we'll just move on to Joe, Sorrento, Florida, KO4FRR. I could probably know what his answer is. Good evening, Joe. How you doing this evening?
Well, good evening, Roger. Even though I am in the process of learning Morse code at the moment, I probably wouldn't because my grandma is always into reading the newspaper like every single day, and I remember the statement that they removed the requirements for Morse code, so it should be easier for you now. This is KL4FR. Back to you, Roger.
And thanks, Joe. And if you had to, I'm pretty sure you could knock it out. Thanks for joining us. Let's move on to Chris, Parrish, Florida. KQ4GLY. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Roger, and everyone on the net. No, I probably would not have if required to do the code. Back to you, KQ4GLY.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not just a code, but you got all them the rest of the book of questions, I think. So, yeah, definitely no for me. Let's move on to Lucas, if I'm correct with your call sign there. KR4ETA, Huntsville, Alabama. Is that you, Lucas?
Kilo, Romeo 4, Bravo, Tango, Alpha. Kilo, Romeo 4, Bravo, Tango, Alpha. It's Charlie from Carbo.
You're pretty quiet there, Charles. No wonder Vicky had a little bit of a time there, but she got you. KR4BTA. Good evening, Charles. And would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirements? Over.
Interested in it, but I'd probably still be studying.
That's a good one. Still be studying. Thanks for joining us this evening. W4PPX, Don, Hollywood, Florida. This is KO4QMM in Central Florida.
Good evening, Roger, and everybody on the net. Vicky, logging. No, probably not. It just would have been a little bit too much for my small brain. Back to it.
Agreed. Thanks for joining us, Don. Let's move on to my buddy Bertrand from Trinidad and to 4DX. Good evening, Bertrand.
Well, a pleasant evening to you, Net Control. Hello, Oscar 4, Quebec, Mike. Roger, this is 9, Yankee 4, Delta X-ray. Bertrand, and I am at a temporary location here in the United States. I am in New Jersey at this time. Just want to extend a pleasant evening to all others on the East Coast Reflector Tech Net this evening. Hope everyone is doing well. And the temperature here today, we had some hazy weather. For most of us, you know that it's a lot of smoke coming down from Canada. But it was quite a nice, refreshing day here in New Jersey. With respect to the question, yes, I had studied for it. I was about to do the exam, and then they told me that it was not a requirement anymore. So that's it from me. Back to you, Net Control, Roger. K04QMN. This is 9YK. Yes.
In us this evening, and I bet you're enjoying that morning cool air that they got compared to the tropics. And we're also getting a lot of crazy rainstorms on and off. Not I didn't get any tonight, but they were around us. Thanks for joining us, Bertrand. This is KO42MM in Central Florida. We're going to move on to Brad in Dade City, Florida. AB4NT. Would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirements?
My answer to this is no, I will not become a amateur. But I did give it my best shot, and just couldn't get back to Net Control.
All right, Brad, we got your comments. Thanks for joining us this evening. And the last of the fours, let's move on to Brandon, Winter Springs, Florida. We got some Floridas going on here. I wonder if you got any of them storms tonight. KR4FLZ. Good evening, Brandon.
Yeah, it's pretty bad here. Yeah, a lot of thunder, lightning. But yeah, like I'm a recent ham. I had a GMRS license for a little bit. But yeah, if they had the Morse code requirement, I probably would have been hesitant to pursue the ham license. But I am actually learning code right now, so yeah, hopefully I'll get better at it. But yeah. KR4FLZ, back to Net Control.
Thanks for joining us, Brandon, from Winter Springs. Have a great evening. All right, that does it for the fours. It's time to move on to the District 5. Anybody with a 5 in your call sign want to join us tonight? Answer the question, get in on the logbook. Come with your call sign, twice and slow.
This is Bravo Charlie, Bravo Charlie, Texas.
Late. Sorry about that. I had problems.
Kilowatt 5, Hotel Lima Hotel, K5HLH.
VE3 Echo Yankee from Grant, New Mexico, K5H. And via text line, we got Bill, Hobbs, New Mexico, KI5PMI. Is there any other 5s out there? There was quite a group at the beginning there. It was kind of rough. Any other 5s?
This is VE3 Echo Yankee X-Ray Mobile.
No, I didn't get the mobile there. Could you come back?
This is VE3 Echo Yankee X-Ray mobile from Canada. Listening in to the conversations here.
Oh, sorry about that. You must not have been listening. We're taking District 5 numbers right now. District 5 numbers. And we already got a couple going on there. Thank you for staying by, and we'll get you on the threes a little bit later. K5 HLH, Harry, Grants, New Mexico. Would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirements? Over.
K5HLH from New Mexico. Have you linked into our All-Star nodes for our club? Probably not, but we got our license in 2005 and code had been dropped by then, so I'm not sure about that 2007 date you gave, but me and the better half got our tech license in 2005. I've taken some W classes and I can barely spend 5 or 6 minutes, words per minute, and my copy's not too good. Back to net, K5HLH.
QSL, Harry. Yeah, I just said that, but I might have just heard it from somebody else. I wouldn't take it for the gospel. Thanks for joining us this evening, and let's move on to Bill via text line, Hobbs, New Mexico, KI5PMI. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Roger, and everybody on the net. Yes, I would. That would probably be the kick in the pants I need to finally get serious about learning code. So yes, I would. Hope everybody has a good night. KI5PMI. Back to net.
I tell you what, that takes some commitment there, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us, Bill. And via text line, we already got Charles, Cathay, California, KC6UFF. Anybody else with a 6 in their call sign to join us tonight? Come with your call sign.
Whiskey X-ray 6, Triple Alpha, WX6, Alpha, 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 Jerry.
M6QDY, M6QDY, in and out. E4ZYQ, late check-in, KE4ZYQ, Joe in Clinton Township, Michigan.
KN6GSG, KN6GE.
Alright, bottom up, we got Barry, Moss Beach, California, KN6GSG. David, Sacramento, California, UDY via, or in and out. And we got Jerry, Upper Chichester, PA, WX6AAA. And we got Charles there. Okay, Charles, it looks like it's you, KC6 UFM, my buddy Charles in Cathay, California. Good evening, Charles.
Yeah, good evening, Roger. I think this is 3 weeks in a row that I've got to talk to you. That's got to be a record. But thank you to Vicki for logging tonight, and you and Dick and Scott coming up here for herding the cats this evening. But as far as the question is concerned, yes, I would be. The story behind that is when I walked in to take my first ham radio test in 1991, I didn't know it until I walked into the exam room plan was is I was going to go in, take the technician written exam, and do the 13 words per minute code, so I would have that out of the way and be able to focus on studying for the general and or advanced class. And I walked in. They did not even have the facilities to give the code test. So I just took the no-code tech, and so, I was ready, but, that 13 words per minute when I walked in for that exam session is pretty much the fastest I have ever been able to work code, Roger. Right now, I'm pretty good at 5 to 6 words per minute, maybe up to 7, but you run up to 10 words per minute, I'm down to about 40, 50% copy at best. So, anyway, good net so far tonight. We had, looks like 9 new users and 4 real good questions. And when you were talking to Bertrand there a little earlier, 9Y14, I always get worried about Bertrand this time of year with the storms, and along with everybody there on the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic Coast. But looks like the storms are staying away from you guys for at least now. But it's been pretty doggone hot here in beautiful downtown Guatai. Made it up to 102 this afternoon, and humidity was exactly 10%. So very hot, very dry. That translates into very dangerous for Southern California, Roger. So let me pass it back over to you. Everybody have a great evening. 7-3, take care. This is KC6 UFM, back to net control.
Wow, that must have been a letdown for you, wanting to go in there and take that test, and then you find out you didn't even need to. So, wow. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Always good to hear you, Charles. You have a good evening there. Let's move on to Jerry, Upper Chichester, PA, WX6AAA. Good evening, Jerry.
Hey, good evening to the net. This is Jerry, Whiskey X-Ray 6 Triple Alpha in Upper Chichester, Pennsylvania. I would not have become a ham if they had not have dropped the requirements. That's something that kept me out of ham radio for years. But once they dropped the requirements, I was able to get into the hobby, and I really enjoy it. I've got my general. I think that's about as far as I'm going to go, though.
QSL, we got that, Jerry, and Chichester. Yeah, Chichester, I think you said. I'll have to remember that one. Thanks. Let's move on to, alright, David was in and out, N6QDY from Sacramento, California. And we'll move on to Barry, Moss Beach, California, KN6GSG. How about it, Barry? To be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirement. Over to you.
Well, good evening, Roger, and the rest of the net. This is Barry, KN6GSG. I would have tried to take the test, but I probably wouldn't have passed it. So I probably wouldn't be talking to you now if they made me take the code test. Anyway, that's it. I tried to learn code, but my brain and the code just weren't a match. Anyway, that's it. So thank you for being there. Thanks for letting me check in. This is Barry, KN6GSG in Moss Beach, California, back to the net.
I agree with you, Barry. It was not the easiest for me, I'm sure. Thanks for joining us this evening. And this is for the Sixes. This is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida with the East Coast Reflector. Tuesday Tech Net night questions for fun and get in on the logbook. Let's move on to the 7s. If you have a 7 in your call sign, come with it. right, that was pretty quick from the bottom up. We got Fred, Reno, Nevada, KK7OGC. We got Marty, Troutdale, Oregon, KJ7WOH. And we got my buddy Kevin, Portland, KE7K via text line. Was there any other 7 we didn't get there? Just checking. I guess it's up to you, Kevin. Good evening, KE7K.
Hey, good evening, Roger. Thanks for getting me in there. I didn't know if I was going to make it tonight, and I've been setting up for a block party and just came in to shower up and heard you were right here at the 7, so I figured that was good time. Well, I didn't pass it. Didn't have to take the code when I passed my test. But I think if it had been a requirement, I would have still done it. Might have taken me a little bit longer to get it, but I certainly would have given it a shot. Back to you, Roger. KE7K.
I would have guessed that. Mind to it, you pretty much get her done. Thanks for joining us this evening, and have a great night. Let's move on to Marty, Troutdale, Oregon, KJ7WOH. Good evening, Marty.
Thanks, Roger. Likewise with me. I'm just totally phone mode, haven't done CW. But you know what? If I have to do it, give it a try as means to an end. Thanks very much. Thanks for doing the net. KJWOH.
Like the dude said on Back to the Future, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Thanks, Marty, for joining us this evening. Let's move on to Fred, Reno, Nevada, KK7OGC. Good evening, Fred. Would you be an amateur if the FCC didn't drop the code requirement?
Hey, Roger and Vicki, thank you for hosting and logging. You know, I was just thinking about it for a moment ago. I probably wouldn't have gotten past the tech, but I would have gotten the technician's license, and thank goodness they dropped it if I would have put my mind to it, and but I didn't have to do it, so here I am in a general. Anyway, KK7OGC, back to net.
Thanks for joining us, Fred. And yeah, Vicky's keeping me straight here. I go a little rogue once in a while, but she reels me back in. Thanks for joining us. For the 7s, let's move on to the 8. We got KA8BYU, Roy, New York, via text line, AAHYWI, Bernie, Portsmouth, Ohio, via text line, and WHCRW via text line, CR, Unionville, PA. Anybody else with an 8 in their call sign like to join us this evening?
Charlie 8, Lima, Uniform, Bravo.
W8, AWB, 58, Alpha Whiskey Delta.
AY, November 8, Oscar Alpha Yankee.
Alright, that's a nice little bunch there. We got Dave, Huntsville, Alabama, N8OAY. We got Austin, Beaumont, Texas, W8AWD. We got Jeremy, Knoxville, Tennessee, KC8LUV. And via text line, I think already said CR. So yeah, let's move up to the top of the list. It's up to you, Roy. Blaisdell, New York via text line. K8B1. Good evening, Roy. Are you there, Roy, or are you just a drive-by tonight? Alrighty then, let's move on to Bernie, Portsmouth, Ohio, AA8WI. You there for me, Bernie?
Sure I am. So, I would have, and I was licensed back during the time of code. My first license was a Tech Plus, so that was technician with 5 word per minute code test. And I did that in probably, I think it was April of 1995. Then in September of 95, I went to take my general test, and someone talked me into trying the 20 words per minute. They said, try that, and then when you fail it, the 13 words will sound a lot slower. Well, I got lucky and passed the 20 word per minute code test when I did my general. So I had a year to upgrade to extra, or I would have lost that certification. So I passed my advanced written test, which was the hardest of the tests back then, by the way, at least for me, in November of 95, and then I upgraded to extra, I think, in January or February of 96. So I went from nothing to extra in less than a year, simply because I was not about to lose that 20-word endorsement. So back to you, and 73 to all. AA8WI.
Wow, wow, don't blame you at all for that. That's a good story there. Thanks for joining us this evening, Bernie, and have a great evening. Next via text line is CR, Unionville, PA, W8CRW. Good evening, CR.
Good evening, Roger, and all on the net. Well, way back when, back in the 1960s, I was a teenager, and I was interested in getting the ham license. I bought a record, one of those old 33 1/3 from Radio Shack. I had no success with it, so I just put it on the side. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I went and got my license. So my answer is no. If I didn't learn it when I was a teenager, there's not much chance of me learning it as an old guy now. Back to that, 73 all.
I don't know. It seemed like COVID gave me a lot of patience. As a teenager, I didn't have a lot of patience. So thanks for joining us, CR. Have a great evening. And we'll move on to Jeremy, Knoxville, Tennessee. KC8LUB. This is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida. Good evening, Jeremy.
Evening, Roger. Everybody on that. I hope you're having a good evening up that way. Or down that way, I guess you are, from here. Thanks for running the net. And, I've been on this a couple times before, but I don't think I would have the code. I did. I actually bought the cassette tapes. Tell my age there. I bought the cassette tapes from the ARRL and was trying to learn the codes about that. About the time they dropped it. So I probably would have got the 5 words a minute, but I don't think I would have got any further than that. So I would probably be a technician still.
QSL, thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you have a great one there. Let's move on to W8AWD, all-wheel drive, Austin, Beaumont, Texas. Would you be an amateur if the SEC didn't drop the code requirements, Austin? Back to you.
Hello, and good evening to everybody on the net. I've been called all-wheel drive before, but no, those are my initials. I can probably safely say that I wouldn't be an amateur if it were for the code requirement. It's not a mode I'm interested in. Excellent. Thank you, AWD.
Well, I gotta say, that's pretty cool initials, Austin. Your initials are on a lot of four-wheel drive vehicles out there. You have a good evening there in Texas. All right, last on my list is Huntsville, Alabama, Dave. N8OAY. Good evening, Dave.
Hope you're hearing this, because my hotspot's been dropping in and out all night. I was the first no-code tech in Springfield, Ohio area back in 1991. I moved up from doing scanner and shortwave listener. If they had not dropped the code requirement, I'd still be just a listener. Anyway, why?
Well, good deal, my friend. You have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining us. And I guess I better save some fun for my buddy in Buffalo, New York there, Scott, W2BLT. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I had fun. 73 from the Sunshine State, KO4QMM clear. It's all you, Scott.
Well, thank you, Roger. Fine job as always. This is Scott, W2BLT in Buffalo, New York, and I'll be your host for the rest of the net. We'll start out with the 9s, go to 0, 1, 2, 3, and then the late and missed. With that, the question of the evening is, would you be an amateur if the SCC hadn't dropped the code requirement? Let's go with anybody with a 9 in your call sign. Please come now.
Kilo 9, Hotel Alpha Mike, KK9 Ham.
Well, I guess we only have one 9 tonight. And that's you, KK9HAM. Alvin out in Pasco, Washington. I haven't talked with you for a while. Good evening.
Yep, that's right, Scott. And a good evening to you and to Vicky. And my answer would be nope. I would not be a ham operator. I would be sitting in front of the TV and getting old, fat, dumb, and happy. KK9 Ham.
You're singing my song, Alvin. I probably would have been a ham, but it probably would have taken me longer. But you got to remember, there's ways to learn CW today that just weren't available back then, and I think it's helped a lot of people. Alrighty, anybody with a 0 in your call sign, please come now.
Whiskey 0, Sierra Victor Hotel, W0SVH, Sean, Carlos, Texas.
Oh, 0 Delta India, Quebec.
LRV. That's 2 Echo 0 Lima Radio Victor. That's from the Shire.
N0TIS, N0TIS. Smile, Scott.
Alrighty, let me recognize. Owner service out in Beaumont, Texas, N0 TIS. We had 2E0 LRV less over in England and 2E0 DIQ. And in Suffolk, England was in and out. We had W0S VH, Sean in Anderson, Texas. Anyone else with a 0, please come now. Well, with nothing heard, let's run them. W0SVH, Sean in Anderson, Texas. Good evening, and would you be an amateur if the SEC hadn't dropped the code requirement?
I would have to say that currently I wouldn't be, but I'm actually doing a little study in the background, trying to learn some CWS so I can actually participate on the bands with some of the other folks that are still doing it. So right now, no. I got my license after it was not required, but I'm trying to learn it. I learned it in Boy Scouts back in the day, just trying to relearn it. Back to you, Nick Control. W0SVH, Sean over here in Anderson, Texas.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us, Sean. Have a good rest of the evening. 2E0 DIQ was in and out, Andy. Let's go to 2E0 LRV, Les, over in Redditch. Good evening.
Returning. Yes, good evening to you guys. Yeah, I had to wait 55 years for them to drop the code requirement so I could become a ham in the UK. I'm still trying to learn it now, but while I can send it, I can't receive it. It's just noise, but there we go. It was well worth waiting, but as I say, I could have been a ham at 10 or 12, but unfortunately, code got in the way. Back to net control, 2E0 LRV.
Alrighty, thanks, Les. Thanks for staying up this late for us tonight. And the last one on this list, N0 TIS. Good evening, Otis.
Good evening, Scott. One of my favorites. I guess all my life, we used to talk about ham all the time, and that was the one thing that killed the conversation every time was the code. We all, would tell each other, nah, I just don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. And especially through my teenage years, wanted to become a ham, but never did. That always scared me away. 59 right now, going on 60, and I still feel the same way. I'd rather talk. I like talking. Yeah. What about you? You like talking? Just nod. A simple yes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Anyway, so yes, it's going to be a no for me. N0 TIS. Good evening, y'all.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us, Otis, and thanks for stopping by the Zoom room. Okay, let's go to the ones. If you have a 1 in your call sign, this is your opportunity. Please come now.
Tango Alpha Quebec, Kilo 1 Tango Alpha Quebec.
November 1, Whiskey, Echo, Bravo, N1, WEB.
Four Golf 1 November, Yankee Sierra, 41 NYN.
Alrighty, recognizing 4G1 MYS, Stephen. In the Philippines, we had N1 WEB Webb in Collierville, Tennessee, and a K1 TAQ, David up in Anchorage, Alaska. And let's go to Anchorage, Alaska. The question is, would you be an amateur if the FCC hadn't dropped the code requirement? Good evening, David, and welcome to the system.
Yeah, thank you for the welcome. My name is Dave. I'm up here in Anchorage. Call sign is K1TAQ. I'm indigenous. My name in Yupik, which is one of the peoples here in Alaska, is KITAQ, Kituk. And so that's why I got a call sign of K1 instead of a usual Alaska call sign. But the short answer to the question of the night is no, I wouldn't be an amateur if the code requirement was still there. I picked up my license back in May, but I have learned that I can output whole Morse code, and I can copy it at about 1 word per minute. So definitely on the slow side. Back to net.
Well, that 1 word per minute is a lot more than many, many, many people can copy. And thanks for joining us this evening, and enjoy the rest of the evening, and don't be a stranger. We're here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And if you have any questions, by golly, stop by with them. This is W2BLT. Next up, N1WEB Webb down in Collierville, Tennessee. Good evening, Webb.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Vicki. N1WEB. I would have to say no. I wouldn't have carried through with amateur radio if I had to do that. I kind of accidentally stumbled on this hobby, and I'm so glad I did. And if that challenge was there for me, I don't think I would have made it. I'm still trying to learn it. I've tried a couple times, and I got to keep on plugging away. Edison had to make a lot of light bulbs before he got one that worked, so I think that holds true with me too. And N1WEB, back to the net.
Persistence, my friend, is everything. Have a good evening, Webb, and thanks as always for joining us. Let's go over to the Philippines. 4G1 NYS, Stephen in Batangas City. Let's see, that would be good morning.
Thank you very much, W2BLT. This is 4G1 NYS. My name is Steven from here in Batangas City, Philippines. 12 minutes before 10 in the morning here of Wednesday morning. Just coming up and supporting the Tech Net of the East Coast Reflector. And to answer to your question, maybe if I were an American during that period, I would still be a ham, whether you have the Morse code physical test or not. But here, the developments, including the Morse code, the pandemic quite eliminated the physical testing of Morse code for Class 8 or the extra class, the highest one here in my country. Mostly doing the theory only. But there are still some white people here who are very interested in studying Morse code. I'm currently in technician class or the Class C here, but I'm fine with learning all of the tricks and trade here in the amateur radio world. Thank you very much. I'll send it back to you for G1 NYS.
For joining us, Stephen. We appreciate it, and it's always good to hear how other countries handle things. Let's see, that's going to do it for the ones. Let's move on to the twos. Via the text line, we had a W2RBC, Randy, KD2, JPP, Bob, WA2, UUS, Joel. We had W2AJR, Andy, and VK2, DY, Robert. Who else do we have with a 2 in your call sign? Please come now, twice, and slowly, please.
N2BH, N2BH.
W2KJV, W2KJV.
All right, let me hold up there for a moment. We got Tony, W2KJV, and Bill, N2BH. Who was the station coming in with a JA? Was that AA2JA?
AA2KA.
Alrighty, we got you there, Don. Any other twos before I run the list? Please come now with your call sign twice.
Bravo 2, Oscar, Lima here.
Alrighty, all I got out of that was Oscar Lima Sierra. You want to give it to me again, please? I'm not getting any audio there. Looks like you're coming in on the DMR bridge. But at the end of this list, we'll try to call you. Let's go to the top of this list. W2RBC, Randy in West Seneca. Good evening, Randy, and would you be an amateur if the SCC hadn't dropped the code regulation?
Good evening, Scott, Vicky, and everyone on the Tech Net. No, I would not have become a ham if the FCC kept the code requirement. I'm an engineer, so I like the technical aspects, and that interests me most. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2, RBC.
Alrighty, Randy. Have yourself a great night, and thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. KD2, JPP, Bob in Gallatin, Tennessee. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Scott. Everybody else on the net. I'm like you, Scott. It would have taken me a little bit longer, but with persistence, I definitely would have become a ham. Back to you. Have a great week.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you joining us this evening. And I'm just proof that an old guy can learn new things. WA2, UUS, Joel in Buffalo. Good evening, Joel.
Everybody else on the net, answer the question tonight. I might be a test case in a way. As a teenager, in the 1960s, I became WV2QNT. I had to take a 5 words a minute test for it. And my license expired when I was at sea in the Navy for a couple years at sea, and we never really got our mails, and I lost track of time, and my license expired. Years later, I went back into ham radio. I again had to pass the test again, although it came easier to me then, and that's when I became WA2UUS, and I left ham radio for a number of reasons and came back to it 10 years ago, and I didn't have to, I kept my call sign and I renewed it. I got the mails regularly now as a civilian, and so I didn't have to pass it again when I really got active. But I appreciate the question. I think it wouldn't have stopped me from being a ham, and I wish everyone be well and be safe. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Vicky.
And thanks for joining us, Joel. We appreciate it. Have a great evening. Next up, Andy, W2AJR in beautiful downtown Cheektowaga, New York. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, Scott, from the garden spot of Erie County. There's no way I would have become a ham if I would have had to take the code test. I've tried over the years many times to get my license, and then, the code always killed me. Still does. I keep trying. There's some kind of mental block. When I hear it, all I hear is gibberish, no matter what method I've tried. But I'll just keep at it. 7-3, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you, Scott.
Alrighty. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Let's see. Let's go around the world to VK2DY. Robert in Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, Australia. And I got a feeling it's about 3 minutes to good afternoon. Good evening, Robert.
Indeed, you got it just right. It is about 3 minutes to noon. This is Robert, VK2DY, in northwestern Sydney, where it's currently 16 degrees, 61 Fahrenheit, and the sun is shining, which is quite unusual. We've had nothing but rain here for the last week. But they've got snow up in higher elevations. Pretty amazing weather pattern this year. It's coming off the Indian Ocean rather than the Pacific. Anyway, if the ACMA hasn't dropped code requirements, no, I probably wouldn't. I've tried, and I've never gotten Morse code to work for me. So I have to say probably no. VK2DY, back to me.
Thank you, Robert. You enjoy the rest of your day there, and we'll enjoy Wednesday when it gets here. Appreciate you joining us. This is W2BLT. Next up, one of our morning hosts on the Morning Brew, Bill, N2BH in Palmyra. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Scott, Vicky, and everybody. Probably not. I'm going to say no. I'm a COVID baby, and I don't know if I can learn code. Everybody have a good night, M2BH.
Thank you, Bill. I think they might call a few of us COVID boomers. That's a thing. Have a great evening. AA2KA, Donald in Rochester, New York. Good evening.
Yeah, first time I've really been on this net here. I probably would not be a ham for the code. But several years ago, I got lucky to have 20 words from it. I probably couldn't do it again if I tried. AA2KA.
Oh, thanks, Don. And if you're copying 20 words a minute, that's pretty good. Have yourself a great evening. W2KJB, one of our team members here in the Reflector, Tony down in Homosassa, Florida. Good evening.
Good evening, Scott. Good evening, Vicky. Everyone on the Tech Net tonight. Tony here in Homosassa. Yes, Scott, I'd still be a ham. Probably only be a Tech Blood, but still be a ham. Hope everyone has a great night, and 7-3 all. W2KJV.
Alrighty, thank you, Tony. And I want to go back to the station that was coming in on the DMR bridge there before. Tried to check in. Sounded like the call sign had an OLS in it, something like an N2OLS. If you're listening and you want to try it again, please come with your call sign.
Yes, I took your hand. When I took my code, I was 20 words, and I took it again.
got your answer, but you quick keyed over that call sign. You want to give it to me twice and slowly? I just got to get it right here.
Kilo Bravo 2, Oscar Bravo Sierra, I recall. 20 word unit general, and that's what I thought last time.
Oh, my log's going screwy here. Let's see. KB2. Yeah, my log's not working. Let me refresh it here for a moment. Let's see here. It's not working. Let's see here. All right, well, in the meantime, back in the old days here, let me see if I get it now. There we go. It's working again. It froze up there. Alrighty, that's better. Alright, we got you there. Thanks, James. Appreciate you joining us, and don't be a stranger. Alrighty, folks, it's time in the evening for those that were late to the party or missed your call district. Please come with your call signs twice and slowly.
Control, this is Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec. Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec. Joe, Clinton Township, Michigan.
Sound like you got a pile up. Oh my God, is it first beginning? Hopefully I'm getting there right now. Sorry being long-winded. I figure let's make sure somebody hears me in there. My call letter is Kilo Delta 4 Yankee Victor Victor. That's KB4 YVV in Virginia.
Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta.
And 73, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy life, and God bless.
Foxtrot 8 Alpha Victor X-ray.
K4 Fox X-ray Charlie, K4 FXC.
Kilo KK4 JJK.
KB3 VPK, KB3 VP.
B3KEZ, BK3KEZ. Alpha Delta 2 India Z, Alpha Delta 2 India Z, in and out.
Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec. Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec.
K5 OIT, Kilo 5 Oscar India Tango, in and out.
Let's hold it up there. From the bottom up, I got K5 OIT. Kimberly and Beaumont was in and out. Thanks for joining us. We had 82IZ. Bob in East Amherst was in and out. We had VK3 KEZ. Brian, KB3 VPK. Mary, KK4 KJJ. Jason, looks like you're new to the system. We had K4 FXD. David, KC6 CWI. Ruben. I believe that was Ruben. How about KD6? CWI. I don't type too well. Let's see, we had KC3FGD, Ray, KD4, YVV, Jeffrey in Virginia, W2CJM Charles, KQ4 UPK, I believe we had KQ4 UPK, that would be Chris, and top of this list, we got KE4ZYQ. Is there anybody else that we missed? Please come now twice.
Foxtrot 8 Alpha Victor X-ray.
MMX. K4MMX.
This is KF8AVX. That's KF8AVX.
VE3 Echo Yankee X-ray. VE3 Echo Yankee X-ray.
Kilo Charlie 7, India Uniform Papa. Kilo Charlie 7, India Uniform Papa.
Alrighty. Let me recognize a KC7 IUP rod. We got a VE3 EYX. VE3 EYX. And that would have been an error. VE3 E something X. Could you come back with that call sign again, please?
This is VE3 Echo Yankee X-ray, Ontario, Canada, John.
Alrighty, I'm trying to fix that here. Let's see, VA3 EYX. Let's see if that works. It doesn't seem to be working any better. Give it to me one more time there, Victor.
This is VE3 Echo Yankee X. Canada, John speaking.
Alright, it's just not coming up on QRZ. I got the call sign right. We had KF8AVX Christopher, KE4ZYQ Joe, K4MX Craig. Let's go to the top of this. I can't believe everybody here missed their call district. That's incredible. Let's go to the top of this list. KE4ZYK. Is that a good call sign?
I think you're calling KE4ZYQ. I think you said K, but it's Q. Roger.
Sir Joe, that's you. Good evening.
Nick, appreciate getting in finally. I've been on the radio here for 3 or 4 hours, it seems like. But I'd like to answer the question tonight. This is KE4ZYQ in Michigan, Clinton Township, Michigan. And no, I probably would not have gotten my license if it had to do with requiring code. Not because I just didn't like it, but I probably wouldn't use it. They had a couple silent keys for tonight. We had that earlier. So if you don't mind, humor me. Tonight's silent key, 2 of them from at least a year ago or less, is Whiskey Bravo 8 Echo. That would be Walter, Whiskey Bravo 8 Echo, Walter from Sterling Heights. And then we had a Carl from Clinton Township, Michigan, November 8 Alpha Echo, November 8 Alpha Echo. 2 fine ham radio operators. Rest in peace. Back to that, KE4ZYQ.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We got it for Walt and Carl. Chris, KQ4UPK in Hollywood, Florida. Good evening.
Hey, Scott. Yeah, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to check in again, so sorry about that. And hey, everybody on the net tonight. I hope everybody's going to have a great day tomorrow. And thank you, Vicki, and thank you, Scott, for running the net. And God bless y'all. 73s.
All right, have a good evening. W2CJM, Charles in Selden, New York. Good evening.
Scott, Vicki, everybody on the crew, the answer is no. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, Charles. KD4YVV, Jeffrey in Prince George, Virginia. Good evening.
Good evening. Hope I don't get no long with an answer to that question. In my early on years, when I was young, I did code and got my license, and then I got married. I'm doing the short version as much as I can. Got married, got away from ham radio for a while, and then I realized when the honeymoon was over, it was time to find a hobby to get back into. So I went back and kept my amateur radio license updated. And then I got on ham radio, and then I started doing all the stuff you could do, packet radio, you name it, whatever. But unfortunately, I did not want to go back to the code after my license expired. I went past the grace period. And so I went ahead and jumped in there with no code. I just said, what the heck, that's enough for me. And then I missed my 10 meters and all the other bands, and then I said, okay, what do I do now? And one day I was sitting outside the skating rink and overheard on the ham radio on 2 meters, the guys were talking about them flipping the code. I think it was in January or February. And I said, I got to go back. I got to go back. I don't have to worry about the ham radio code anymore. I can just go ahead and take my license. And then later on, I took my general, and I've been in general ever since. But I will tell you this. I think there's a place for everything. That's one thing I remember. The first question on the novice license is the advancement of the art of amateur. I know a lot of old-timers won't agree, but the old-timers are eventually going to fall out or fall away or disable themselves. And they won't be able to keep amateur radio going. So I believe when they lifted the code and people got concerned about it, that I think people were smart enough to know that when they took the test, they're going to behave themselves. Because there were a lot of old amateur radio operators that were extra class. They were very rude on the very low high bands. Past 80 meters anyway. So, and I personally knew them, and it really upset me because they used bad language and stuff, and that really bothered me because they were supposed to be our mentors, and
Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm glad he joined us tonight anyway. Next up. Next up, KC3FGD, Ray, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. Good evening, Ray.
Hey, good evening, Scott, Vicki, and everyone on the net here. Yeah, it's getting late here. Quick answer, absolutely not. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you joining us tonight. TD6CWI, Ruben in Fallbrook, California. Good evening. Alrighty, moving right along. K4SXC, David, Wilmington, North Carolina. Good evening, David.
Yeah, good evening, K4FXC. Yeah, good night tonight. Yeah, definitely been a ham for 44 years, I guess now. So I took the code all the way up through 20 words per minute, but it wouldn't impede me. But be glad for all the hams out there. You know, whatever the case, it's great hobby, K4FXC.
All righty, thanks, David. Appreciate you joining us. Let's go to KK4, KJJ, Jason in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Looks like you're new to the system. Welcome.
Control, that's Kilo 4, Juliet Kilo, John in Buffalo. Anyway, I would say that if I had to take the test with Morse code before I became a ham, I'd say no. But now that I've recently got my license and they took it away, I would study for it because this is such a fun hobby. I would do anything I could to keep it. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it, and say 73, this is KK4, JJK, back to net control.
Alrighty, thank you, John. Appreciate it. KB3 VPK, Mary in Easton, Pennsylvania. Good evening, Mary.
Good evening, everyone. I would definitely say, no, I would not be a ham radio operator. Just don't have time to learn that stuff. Back to you, Scott, KB3 VPK.
Thanks, Mary. Enjoy the rest of the evening. This is W2BLT. Next up, PK3 KEZ, Brian up in Australia. Good evening.
My answer would be no and yes, because on my license there was only one dam in Australia, and then the difference between limited and core was the Morse. Later they reduced a 5-word per minute one, which passed. I always think from the examiner. So yes and no and yes. VK3K is the boy.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us, Brian, and enjoy your day. K4 MMX, Craig in Oakland Park, Florida. Good evening, and would you be an amateur if the SEC hadn't dropped the code requirement?
Absolutely yes. My first license was a novice at 5 words per minute back in the 80s. K4 MMX back to net. You're all doing a great job.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us, Craig. Have a good evening. KC7IUP, Rod out in Ely, Nevada. Good evening.
Good evening, KC7IUP in Ely. It didn't stop me when I got mine back when I built my HW101, so I'll say it wouldn't make any difference.
Thank you, Rod. Have a good evening. KF8AVX, Christopher in Richmond, Ohio. Good evening.
Hello, Net. This is KF8AVX. Answer to the question, I'd have to say no, unfortunately. It's not that I wouldn't try, it's that I wouldn't be able to. Right now, the only Morse code I'm able to do is my call sign and SOS, and that's it. I got into this hobby because, well, my dad had his amateur radio license, and so did my grandfather, so I naturally started doing some research and found out about the wonders of the radio and everything else, so I figured why not. I got involved with my local club. They helped me get my license, and then it was pretty much uphill from there. They even started helping me out here. Anyway, sorry about getting off topic. It's great to be on the East Coast Reflector. Back to you, Net Control.
Thank you, Christopher, for joining us, and you have yourself a good rest of the evening, what's left of it. Okay, and last one on the list, VA3EYX. I believe I got that right. Good evening.
This is DE3 Echo Yankee X-Ray, Ontario, Canada. It would definitely have taken me a lot longer to get my ham license if I had to learn Morse code. So after having my test only last month, they dropped that requirement in 2007. It's unfortunate for me at 65, would have taken me definitely a lot longer to learn. Back to net control.
Alrighty, well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And that's going to do it for tonight. I thank everybody that stopped by tonight with a question or just stopped in to check in. It was a good night. Thanks to Roger, KO4QMM, Dick WB2JPQ, and Vicky on the log, KE8VKY. This is Scott W2BLT wishing everybody a fine evening and returning the reflector to normal amateur use. 7-3, everyone.